A black woman stood in front of her own store after the riots and asked a simple question. You said Black Lives Matter. Then why does mine look like this? That question never made the news the way it should have. Today, we're looking at what actually happened to black-owned businesses, what churches saying about identity, and the mental gymnastics that keep getting passed off as progress. So let's start here.
Problem that bothers me, you said Black Lives Matter. I work here part-time. Plus, I'm a part owner of this store. You said Black Lives Matter. Why don't you choke me? I'm black.
Tell him, sister.
Look what you did to my store.
Tell him, sister.
Look what you did to my store.
Tell him, sister. That's right, because I got they back. These are my dudes right here. Good
Look
men.
at the things you done. Problem.
Okay, so she worked there. In addition to that, she was part owner. She stayed up all night cleaning the mess up. And the same people screaming about, Black Lives Matter are the ones who left her standing in broken glass. Now, the media had every camera in the world available that summer. They chose not to point them at stores like hers. That's not by accident, in my opinion. That was definitely a decision. When a moment protects the riot more than a black business owner, the slogan stops literally meaning what it claims. Now, I want you to watch what a black pastor has to say about the root of the same problem.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you black first and you're more black than you are Christian, you're not a Christian.
Ooh, that's bold. That's bold, Pastor.
I asked him, I said, listen, based on what I'm hearing you say, do you interpret the Bible through the lens of your blackness? And he said, absolutely. He said, if you don't, then we are serving two different gods. Wow. Church, by and large, votes in the same exact direction as atheists.
So, if you're black first and Christian second, you're not a Christian, is his claim. And obviously, that's not soft language right there. He's not over there, dodging anything. That's a man drawing a line most people are scared to touch. He asked the question out loud. Do you interpret the Bible through the lens of your blackness? And the answer he got was yes. When race becomes the highest authority, scripture becomes, optional. And once that began to happen, the church starts voting the same way people who don't believe in God at all vote. And that is not a coincidence. That is the fruit. Now, this next one is uncomfortable for a different reason.
Hey, yo, black people, wake the fuck up. Yeah. And anybody else who calls themselves our ally, our accomplice, our friend, our neighbor, whatever the fuck word makes you feel comfortable and the thing that you need to make you wake the fuck up to, use that. Because I think we've consumed so much of this chaos that we've started to mistake crisis for culture. And none of this shit is normal. A black teenager went to an island with his friends and never comes home. And now his family is still fighting for answers about how their 18-year-old son died. But happy birthday, Nolan. Black people are being found hanging from trees. And before anybody can actually figure out what the fuck happened, they're saying that there was no foul play. Gary, Indiana gets devastated by a storm, and 9 days later, tens of thousands of people are still without electricity, throwing away food, schools are closed, families are scrambling to charge medical equipment, and somehow we're supposed to keep scrolling. Carmelo Anthony is serving 35 years while his lawyers are fighting for a new trial to raise questions about the fairness of the process. And every single one of these stories is different. Every fact is not interchangeable. Every tragedy is not proof of the same conspiracy, but collectively, they should be enough to make us all pay attention. Because black people, we do not have the luxury right now of auditioning the role of the perfect Negro, the most respectable person. Is he straight enough? Is she educated enough? And what if the person isn't innocent enough? Is this bitch trans? Is he Christian? Was she poor? Is this the right kind of black person for you to give a damn? The oppression has never needed your resume. And while some of us are arguing about who pays 50-50 on a date, whether bisexual black men are masculine enough, whether black women are too loud, whether black queer people make you uncomfortable, and which letter makes you uncomfortable this week, these people are making decisions about all of our lives. That does not mean that those conversations never mattered. It means that we need to learn the difference between conversation and distraction. Because in 2026, this is a midterm election year. Your school boards matter. Your judges matter. Your prosecutors matter. Your sheriffs matter. Your state legislators, yeah, all of those people matter. And so does Congress and community. And even when Washington fails us, as they've done, you got to organize the group chat. Know who has the generator. Know who has the legal training. Know your neighbors. Learn first aid. Support Black businesses. Build emergency funds when you can. And know your rights. Register people to vote. Show up to your local meetings that nobody thinks is sexy enough for Instagram. Protect each other lawfully and stop waiting until somebody becomes a hashtag to decide that they were worth protecting. And please understand something else. All of this effort to convince us that we are powerless will only work if we believe it. We are not powerless. We are workers. We are voters. We are organizers. We are educators. We are artists. We're attorneys. We're parents, for God's sakes, and we are business owners. We are the people who have survived every version of America that told us that we wouldn't. So no, I am not asking Black people to live scared. I'm asking us to live awake. I don't want a civil war. I want anybody's child. I don't want anybody's child bleeding in the streets, right, over somebody else's political fantasy. But I absolutely don't want people betting on Black people to be too distracted, too divided, and too exhausted to defend ourselves. This isn't the moment to give up. This is a moment to get organized, because history has taught us something that America keeps forgetting, that Black people are incredibly difficult to defeat once we stop fighting each other long enough to recognize that we should not be each other's target. And until y'all have that conversation ready, locked, and loaded, I'll wait. Because some of y'all are missing the fucking plot.
Man, I keep doing this. Is like my third time doing it today, talking and having my thing on mute, and then my skin breaking out that I don't know what's going on today. But as I was saying, you know, some people they build. You got others out here who just simply perform. When your entire public personality is built around how much you hate, how much you've been done wrong, and how much the world owes you, you stop having room left for anything else. And that's really not strength at all. That's a trap that feels like identity. Jesse Lee Peterson asks a direct question. Most people just dance around.
Are you a Marxist?
Am I a Marxist? I think what I am, right, is I'm somebody committed to the liberation of oppressed peoples globally.
Are you a capitalist or a Marxist?
I'm definitely not a capitalist, no.
Are you a Marxist?
I think what I am is I'm somebody committed to the liberation of oppressed
But
people.
I'm asking you, are you a Marxist?
Again, like I said, it's not that simple. If you've read...
Are you a socialist?
Have you read Cedric Robinson's Black Marxism?
No.
No.
Well, I'm just trying to find out about
you.
you. Are you a socialist or a Marxist? I think they're both pretty much the same, but which one are you?
What I am is I'm somebody dedicated to the liberation of all oppressed peoples.
And so you're not a capitalist, right?
No.
So you don't believe in earning your way and getting paid for your earning?
Well, I think the broader issue, right, is that people assume that that isn't in socialism, or people assume that that isn't in, right, like other economic forms of being, when that's not the case. People work not only to earn their wage, but also to earn their way into the community.
But not
right?
socialist people.
Well,
they are controlled by others.
Well, time out. How about you define what you think socialism is?
It's people who want to control other people.
Okay, and where did you hear that from?
Common sense. When you look around, that's what
Time
they do.
out. Is that common sense?
Yes.
Or did you read it from somewhere?
No, common sense. I've been in the world for a while now, and I see how, I remember when the blacks were not controlled, and they are being controlled by the government and by other people who are insecure, and they need a sense of security, so they keep blacks down in order to control them.
Are you a Marxist? Simple question. You watch how fast the answer turned into everything except a clear yes or no. And when a conversation always ends with more control from the top and less responsibility from the individual, you're not talking about freedom anymore. You're talking about a different system with a new paying job. And this next one shows how selective that paint. Well, I'm finna say paint. I'll say pain narrative is. My bad.
Emmanuel Echo gets checked by Ben Latham over Black
exist,
Americans.
I know why they say that, because I've been in them rooms when they saying that. When I kick it with Black people and they're like, all white people are racist. I know why you're saying that. All the while, I have the privilege and luxury of not having generational trauma because my parents were born in Nigeria. So man, my method is removing some of the sting because I don't have that sting, and trying to deliver a message in a manner that people can receive it. Primarily white people.
Okay. Let me tell you why what you just said offends me.
Okay.
All right. First of all, there are a couple of things. I grew up South Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All my classmates were white. I was in the gifted program. All of my classmates were white from the beginning. McKinley High School, gifted program, McKinley High, 80% black school, gifted program, all white. Vans in the class with them, Vans in the class, Vans playing basketball and sports and everything else with the black kids. Mama from South Baton Rouge, all of that. I understand the being pulled between two worlds. I understand the having the insight into two worlds. You saying that you don't have generational trauma and you didn't mean it this way, but the reason, and it's, I have to name it, you saying that you don't have any generational trauma in some way meaning, or that in some way meaning that your delivery method to white people is going to be either more effective or more sanitized is, to me, dangerous. And let me tell you why. Everybody that you just named and what you're talking about does what they do in different ways. I don't think that any of the things that they do are necessarily harmful. But what I could say is a black man, a prominent one, acting as an emotional butler for white people and serving them the most milquetoast, unspicy, unseasoned brand of racial discourse and accountability possible could definitely be harmful. Because of what it does, I saw episodes where you were on there with Matthew McConaughey, and Matthew McConaughey out and out said, when will Black Lives Matter end? He goes, well, when is it going to be time for it to be over? But that's an outrageous question to ask at the time that he's sitting down with you. And it's an outrageous question to posit when we're going to be able to say all lives matter after everyone just watched George Floyd get his head blown off. I watched you also sit down with the police.
Did you say my response?
In the conversation with the police that I watched you have, there was nothing tangible that addressed the systemic issues of policing that lead to unfair and deadly outcomes all over the country. It was about whether or not the police liked black people, whether or not they were nice to black people, and even, as I wrote it down, the police are human too. Emmanuel, who gives a fuck? Like, we're fighting for our lives. And to me, having a conversation like that at that particular time, it's not that it's a different method. Everybody has a different method. Is that it's the wrong method, is that it gives cover for a lot of the issues that you're supposed to be discussing. Roger Goodell's on the show. I watched the whole interview with Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell is talking about Colin Kaepernick in the past tense. Colin Kaepernick right now is fighting to get back in the NFL. If the NFL cared about Colin Kaepernick or what was going on in his life, Roger Goodell could be an agent of change now. You get the opportunity to talk to him, and the fact that he's speaking about a man like that in the past tense is just simply never broached. And when I'm watching it, I know that you have the best of intentions. You're a good guy. My question is, what the fuck is the point of all of this? Is it to make them feel better about all of these things that are going on? Like, for what? Like, why? Like, why are you talking to someone and there's zero call to action? It's just, now I'm going to go be a better person. It just don't work that way.
Is this rhetorical or is that actually a question to be answered?
I'm pretty sure it was rhetorical. I didn't see the end of that clip, but I'm pretty sure. Now, Emmanuel said the quiet advantage, out loud. He said his parents came from Nigeria, so he doesn't carry the same generational trauma. Van heard it as a man offering white people a softer version of the truth. Now, whether you agree with either of them, the moment is revealing. The trauma story is powerful until someone looks like you says they don't fully share it. Then the rules change mid-sentence at that. All right, y'all, this is the last one. Here's the contradictions in real time.
Hey, real quick. You said it's gross for men to flirt with you at bars, but women can have penises in the locker room. Oh, okay. We need to end racism, but you blame white people for everything. Oh, okay. You want black people to receive reparations, but you don't want to pay them. Oh, okay. You want an old-fashioned man, but refuse to delete your OnlyFans? Oh, okay. You said I can't speak on abortion without a uterus, but I can be a woman without one? Oh, okay. Wait, you said it's eat the rich, but you love Beyonce. Oh, okay. You said Black Lives Matter, but black on black crime is irrelevant? Oh, okay. You want to elect more women, but you can't define what one is. Oh, okay. Hey, real quick. You said it's gross for men.
Oh, man. reparations, but don't ask me to pay. Black lives matter, but black on black crime is off limits. Eat the rich. But he ain't have to mention Beyonce, man. I ain't gonna lie, I know, man. She's not on the side of things, and it breaks my heart. It's childhood, man. It was the Bootylicious video. I can't get back. Anywho, y'all, back to reality. Eat the rich. But still scream Beyonce was this point. And he brought up women's spaces, but can't define a woman, the left that he was referring to. These aren't random takes. They are required. The ideology only works if the contradictions stay protected. The second you line them up next to each other, the whole thing starts looking like performance. So a black business owner cleaned up glass while the slogan stayed loud. A pastor said race cannot sit higher than Christ. A man asked a simple question about Marxism and watched the answer just basically dissolve. Another man admitted the trauma story just doesn't apply the same way to him. And the contradictions kept rolling in like they were normal. None of this is complicated once you start protecting the narrative and start looking at the results. Build something, own something, tell the truth even when it costs you the applause. But that's the only way any of this gets better. So I want you to drop the word, the words, not normal. All right? If you made it to the end of this video. And I want to leave you with Jeremiah 6:14. They have healed the wound of my people lightly, saying, peace, peace, when there's no peace. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.